sér. Þorbergsson. Valberg skorar. Valberg Gunnlaugsson hefur skorað. Parken sem skotið mark. Glæsilega.
Óskar Ragnar á móti Bjarna. Og Bjarni með góða sendingu fyrir og Orri Óskarsson.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Best Pod Ever.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
As you can hear, we have a few guests that we'll speak to about the game FCK 6, Breiðablik 3. But first, let's jump into two interviews with Breiðablik players Damir Muminovic and Höskuldur Gunnlaugsson. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Damir.
Yep, thank you.
So, summarize the game maybe in a few words?
Disappointing. I think first 30 minutes we were fantastic. We scored one goal. They make a change after 25 minutes something. So for me, I think they were scared. After that, we just, I don't know what happens. We just give them 3 goals, easy goals.
Yeah. What was the atmosphere at halftime after going, like you said, you're playing better team after half an hour and then going 4-1 down into halftime?
It was, as I said, disappointing, but you can't do anything about it, so you just have to keep your head up and go on.
Yeah. Positive, like main positives from this game?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we came here and we thought we could win, and we showed good football.
Yeah.
And after halftime, we just said we're just gonna go out and keep playing, no matter what happens.
Going into the game, you guys obviously lost 2-0 at home, but what was the mentality going into the game? Were you hoping for a win? Were you hoping for having fun? It seemed like you guys came out firing, looking for an actual win here.
Yeah, we didn't come here to have fun or be our tourists. We came here to win a game. So yeah, as I said, we came here to win, but also how the Copenhagen are really good, quality players, fantastic team. So we needed a miracle to win here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Höskuldur, for joining. First of all, scoring at Parken. How was that?
Well, it's you would say in Icelandic sourabot, like bittersweet, because we were losing. But of course, you have to respect it. It's something that you look back on maybe in the future, or definitely, and can be proud of. So bittersweet in the loss.
But after the first 30 minutes, what was the atmosphere in the team? Leading at Parken, outplaying FCK. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, just I would not say a dream come true, because we had the belief and we had a good tactical plan and things were working how we planned. We had good control. Then I think afterwards, getting this set piece goal from them, good free kick. We should have stayed more cooler. 1-1 in halftime we have shocked them, so that's. Respect that. I think we became a little naive. We were rushing things to get back, and they punished us.
Okay. And then what was the approach going into the second half?
A little bit just keep our heads high and know that we have to take the performance in the second half with us in the Europa League. And I think we did that. We can be proud of second half, and overall can be proud of our attitude and how we approach the game. And we just need to learn from this and learn fast that at this stage you are punished for the slightest mistakes.
Difficult game, but a positive experience maybe?
Yeah, definitely. And you can look at it and think that we are courage. We are showing a courage approach. Coming here, high pressing, repressing, and having good attacks. And again, just we take that with us and have to learn from the naive mistakes, because I think we handed them the momentum, not that they outplayed us. Of course they have individual quality also.
Back to the league. You think you can challenge for the title?
Yeah, we just have to take one game at a time, cliche, but it's also important for the European competition to have momentum and keep momentum, because we can't just forfeit that, and that will just take away confidence, so you can't just switch on and off. You have to be at it all the time. So just next game, go at it hard.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much to Damir and Höskuldur. It was really nice to talk to them, and it's really good to get their opinion and their viewpoint on the game. Tough match, so let's talk about it. I have two very special guests with me here today. First of all, friend of the pod, Orri, football journalist extraordinaire.
Yeah, you can call me that if you want to.
And then, as you might have heard in the interview, there was another voice, and that's my brother, Ragnar.
That's me.
He's also been helping us with, as you might have noticed, the sound quality has improved drastically. So he's been helping with equipments and editing, so thank you so much for that.
No worries.
So, guys, first impressions of the game?
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointed, but also proud of the boys for the game they played. I felt like Breiðablik had the best 30 minutes I've seen for a long time from Breiðablik until they equalized, FCK equalized, and then it just went down the sewer, if you can say it like that. But overall, I was really proud of their performance tonight, but you can also see like the quality difference in the FCK team and the Breiðablik team when you just look at the game overall. But scoring 3 goals at Parken, that's almost a victory in my books. But getting 6 against them is maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, it was disappointing to see. The first 4 minutes roughly, we were turning to each other saying that Breiðablik maybe looked a little bit shaky. Maybe a little bit. Missing a yard on some of the FCK players, maybe a little bit fitter, maybe a little bit more technical. Then they immediately turned that around and were clearly the better team for the first half hour. So it was very, very disappointing to see them concede back-to-back in the 33rd and 35th minute or something like that. It really changed the tempo of the game, changed really the game plan for both teams, but especially for FCK. It opened the game up a lot. You could see they stretched Breiðablik much more after. They were much more fluid in their play. Much more willing to attack, obviously, because they had they had the freedom to do so. They weren't scared, but that was the main thing we noticed in the first half hours. FCK looked a little bit scared.
Yeah, it's not usual to see them like that. I mean, they're a team that's used to Europe. As we noticed when walking around the stadium, they have pictures of them and they have a video playing before the game of them scoring goals against Manchester United and Barcelona, and they have pictures of them playing, at Celtic Park, and so this is a club that's used to being in Europe. Maybe a team they were in Europe last season, playing Dortmund. So it was a big shock seeing them scared of Breiðablik, 1-0 down, but then they brought off a midfielder, brought on an attacker, and just decided, okay, we're gonna score now, and then they did.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to say it, but. And it's it could have been 2 or 3-0 for Breiðablik at times.
It should have been 2-0. They had a breakaway.
Yeah.
What, three Breiðablik players against a defender and the goalkeeper?
Yeah, Gunnlaugsson had a bad touch.
One of the worst I've seen, unfortunately. Yeah. A terrible, terrible time.
Yeah, but that just shows you as well how good Breiðablik were playing. And I was nervous for the first 5 minutes when FCK came out and just they pushed us all the way back, had 2 or 3 good chances, but then I felt like Breiðablik found some rhythm. They were not scared to play the ball. They just played their style and did it really well, I think. And like I said, I think these 12 minutes, the last 12 minutes, now the 12 minutes where they scored the 4 goals is just the quality difference in those 2 teams. But up until then, I thought Breiðablik was a better team at the field at that time.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and then going into the second half, FCK scored fairly early to make it 5-1, and then we got a bit worried. It's like I said, they didn't end this first half very well, and then 5-1, and it's all of a sudden looking like we could go into double figures.
Yeah, we were. I mean, I remember we turned to each other and said to ourselves, "Oh my God, there's 20 minutes left." Thinking it was going to end 10-1 or something. But it's just either, I don't know, a certain mental strength from Breiðablik probably to be able to claw back a couple goals, maintain just the belief that you can play your football. But at the same time, maybe things get a little bit looser when everyone knows that the game is over.
Yeah.
Things just sort of play out how they do. But I mean, the free kick by Breiðablik, the free kick goal was a tidy little, piece of technique. It was nice to see the composure there to just slot it home.
Yeah.
It was probably a nice feeling.
It's not the first goal I've seen Höskuldur score from this distance and from a free kick. He's a really good free kick taker. And like I said to you guys, I was talking to the Danish friend of mine in the stands, that Höskuldur would definitely score. He's a part-time baker and he's gonna bake, and then he scored. So I'm just like I said, I'm happy for, especially the Breiðablik supporters that came all the way to Parken, and I don't know how many there were, 300, 400 maybe, but like 12 minutes they were really disappointed, but otherwise I think the performance was just great in my opinion.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And if you could feel it after the game, we were out there with the supporters and the team, and I mean, they were upbeat. I think they should have been. Obviously, they came into this game wanting to win. You're never gonna. I mean, come into a 2-0, coming off the back of a 2-0 loss, it's not the end of the world. You should go in thinking you're gonna win, like he said. That's what they thought, and it's a little bit disappointing. But they have to take away the fact that they put in a hell of a performance for 90 minutes minus 15 or whatever, minus 12, and that in itself is an accomplishment for a team like this.
Yeah. But if you look at it with the Icelandic eyes, in our Icelandic glasses, we can also say that Breiðablik won 6-3 because there was an Icelander that scored a hat-trick for FCK.
Yeah, I think we have to mention that it's a fantastic 3 goals. I think the last goal was the most impressive one.
Oof, it was delicious. The slot home, right? It was one of the coolest finishes I've seen in a while. It was just like, you could see him. He was there basically outside the box with the ball, and he knew he was going to score. You knew he was going to score, and it was just sort of like, here you go. We all know this is going in the net. Take it. It was beautiful to see.
No, I think he had a really good game. You could see in the first half he was combining well with the other forwards, the other strikers and wingers at FCK, and we said it. Said at some point after those around in those 12 minutes that. Hopefully he gets a goal. He doesn't get excluded from the score sheet.
Yeah, he didn't.
He did not. And then the second half he just took it to another level. Really outmuscled the Breiðablik defenders on several occasions.
Times, yeah.
I also saw that. Like I just received an interview with Nestrup about Orri, where he says that he is maybe the best finisher he has known in Danish, like
ever.
Ever trained with his feet.
Okay.
We all know that Orri is not good in the air, but with his feet, like when he gets the touch, when he can finish himself, come into the box, get the ball from the ground, he is always deadly. And it's just great to see him score 3 goals. And
just wish it was against someone else.
Yeah, and like we can also just say like maybe this game was a tactical geniusship from Óskar, because they scored 3 goals. His son scored 3 goals, and they went on, but it is how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Höskuldur says, they move on. They go, they're still in Europe, in the Europa League now, and that's going to be a tough game against.
Don't remember the name of the team right now, because I was so high on that we were going to qualify for the next round after the first 30 minutes, so I just forgot the other team, and then I also forgot everything when I saw that Kea Klaksvík somehow beaten Haken.
Went through on penalties, yeah.
Saying it's great to see our fellow, what should we call them, brothers?
Yeah, brother cousins.
Yeah, brother cousins. Yeah, qualify to the next round, and like this just shows us. And I also talked to some of the Breiðablik players after the game, where I was just talking with them off record, and they were saying like this just shows as well how far we have come, because against Istanbul Başakşehir last year they didn't have any chance to beat them or score, do anything. They were so far behind in both those games. But then they meet FCK, and I'm not gonna say they were likely to beat them, but there were like moments in these 2 games where you thought, okay, like we are going somewhere, something is happening. But we also have to take in mind that FCK is still starting their season. They have just finished preseason. Breiðablik has been playing 2 or 3 months of football. So it's also that difference. But like overall, I'm just proud, and I'm just happy that I got to witness this game, see those goals.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to play Zrinjski Mostar from Bosnia next round. Tough game, but...
Can you pronounce it again?
Zrinjski Mostar.
Thank you.
Thoughts about that? How tough that's going to be?
I think, I don't know anything about that team, if I'm just honest. I follow football, I follow almost every league, but I'm not a super fan of the Bosnia League, if I'm honest. But I just know, every game is a horror game in those competitions, and especially when you have to go to countries like Bosnia or Serbia, Slovenia, and stuff like that, because it's just different. It's just different atmosphere, and it's maybe not something that we are used to in Iceland. So I think it's going to be an interesting matches. But I think Breiðablik could qualify. But if not, then we're just going to take the Conference League. That's okay as well.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't take these teams from countries where maybe we don't watch the football very often. We shouldn't take them for granted. Víkingur, maybe the best team in Iceland right now, got knocked out by a Latvian team.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to be a little bit arrogant about these Icelandic teams because you're from there and these flashes of brilliance. But yeah,
I think you can see
can't go and expect to beat even a Bosnian team.
And I think, to be honest, in the Bosnian papers, I would imagine there's going to be some arrogance the other way. They're meeting an Icelandic team, some tiny little rock in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from their point of view, they're meeting a tiny team who got thrashed by FCK. So, I mean, it'll be a game.
Yeah, I just hope that we will get some results from Breiðablik that against that team. But I'm also just looking at both that game and then also looking at what Kawa could possibly face. If Kawa beats Dundalk in Ireland, they're gonna probably play against Club Brugge from Belgium, and that is an interesting matchup. I think that could be a dangerous game for Kawa. If we just talk about that game for a little bit. Maybe we can see there how much different it is between a top team in Iceland and a team that is trying to be a top team in Iceland when they go abroad. Club Brugge would probably, they beat AGF 3-0 in the first game and they were dominating that game. AGF didn't, I think they have 2 chances in the whole game. So we're going to see how the game goes tomorrow. But yeah, I'm afraid that their adventure could be over if they go further into the competition, that I believe they do. But I'm interested to see what is going to happen with Breiðablik in the next game against the Bosnia team, because I think it's doable and it could get us closer to the group stages, and that is all what we want. So yeah, I'm just happy in general with everything that's going on in Europe right now for our teams. Except Víkingur, of course.
Yeah, I mean, not many people would have projected Víkingur to go out and Kawa to progress. So this is things are not written before they're done. So everything to play for both teams still.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. And in the league for Breiðablik?
They're up against KR on Sunday, I think, in Vestmannahelgin. So that's going to be
on Sunday? On Vestmannahelgin?
I think so.
That's a weird date, though. But yeah, then there's no theory for them.
Sunday, yeah. It's
Sunday. Okay.
Runa, the KR manager, has talked about that. It's a day that they keep for European teams.
Yeah.
So it's like a bonus day.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of an unusual day to play on that day. But yeah, come against KR. They have to keep going. They're a few points now behind Valur and Víkingur.
Yeah.
They have to just like Höskuldur said, they have to keep going. They have to keep momentum both in the league and in Europe. They can't drop the ball on either one.
No. But just for our foreign listeners that are listening to this podcast, Vestmannahelgin in Iceland is the biggest travel weekend and festival weekend over the whole year. So it's a little bit weird to have a game on a Sunday there.
Yeah.
But let's see. Hopefully many people will turn up. I think every Breiðablik fan is going to Vestmannaeyjar and party there in the biggest festival because they're just happy. But overall, I think Breiðablik, the best that they could do is probably second place from now on. It depends on what Valur does because I think it's more in the hands of Valur than it is in the hands of Víkingur and Breiðablik right now.
Yeah, Joe and I spoke about it a bit in the last episode that it looks like it's Víkingur's to lose, but with the split coming up, it's you never know.
No, but Breiðablik also needs to get some players. Their team, they need a new midfielder, they need a new attacker, and probably like maybe a better right back to just cover for Höskuldur, so Höskuldur could also get like some rest sometimes in between because he plays a lot and he's always running and doing stuff. Really important player. But I think they need to just get some players in and try to evolve further. They're doing well under Óskar, so hopefully they will continue to evolve and develop.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll be following all the transfer news and all the news in the Besta Deildin over the next few days and weeks, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a very interesting end to the season, but I think that'll do it for today. Thank you so much, Ragnar. Thank you so much, Orri, for joining.
No problem.
And
I was also thinking if you would ask your audience, like if they want to get some more interviews with players from the Icelandic League into this podcast, and which player they would like to hear more from and hear you talk to and get some interesting stories and stuff like that, then they can definitely comment that or send you a DM or something on Twitter.
For sure. No, we were very much interested in speaking to players, speaking to managers, speaking to fans. So that's definitely, if you have any ideas about the podcast, about what we should do, what we shouldn't do, please get in touch to me, Joe, or the podcast on Twitter, on Instagram. But I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining us today. We roll on. Kawa coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the league already or this weekend. So football doesn't stop.
No, sir.
So thank you everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
From the cold Copenhagen.